Hi everyone, Randy Littleson, Chief Marketing Officer at Conga, and today I am pleased to be joined by Marc Flaum. He is a Director of Business Transformation at Conga. And we are going to be talking about digitally transforming the quote-to-cash process. So Marc, let's start with this. Tell me why digital transformation of revenue management and quote-to-cash is so important for companies.
Thanks, Randy. Given the remote work environment, it's more important than ever to rely on digital transformation to connect processes and provide the visibility from beginning to end of a process. Let's take revenue management. Most people think it's a back office operation only. But when you think about it, it starts in sales, moves through other organizations like deal desk, finance, accounting, all the way through an order services, and then all the way back to a renewal or an expansion opportunity. For example, let's take Amazon. You may not realize it, but they're employing the exact same thing. You have the ability to go in there and buy products. You can look up products. You can return products. You can see all the products that you've ordered. But most importantly, they're constantly putting products in front of you. It's a constant evolution. And they've gotten it down pat really, really well because they've taken different parts of the process that we just spoke about and put it into an easily consumable digital model that you use every single day. I think for most companies to be competitive, they need to adopt a similar model.
So Marc, a digital transformation project can be complex. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges, the hardest parts of it, and what best practices do you recommend to companies to overcome those challenges?
Big projects are hard, and the hard part isn't necessarily technology. I think it's people, because change is hard. People are creatures of habit, and once they know something, they want to continually to do that instead of learning new processes. Unfortunately, applications are tied to people, and you have to not only change an application, but you have to change people and their mindset as well as part of that. And so really, I recommend employing one of the change management processes or models that are out there like ADKAR. And there's several steps in ADKAR. What I really want to bring up are three specific ones that I find really important. One is the communication. You should communicate early in the project about what is going on. This isn't something you do right before you go live. The second one is benefit. You should communicate the benefit to the individuals that are going to be connected to those applications as part of the process. You should know what that benefit is for the individuals. And then I'll say the last one, which is really important as well, is you should be able to quantify those benefits. You should have metrics or KPIs that show the benefit of a project that goes through the life cycle, and you can constantly update throughout your project and even after the deployment.
So Marc, there's a lot of buzz and discussion today around revenue operations. What is revenue operations? And when it comes to managing revenue, why is it important for customers and companies to think about doing that as a life cycle?
So revenue lifecycle management really takes the processes from siloed departments and creates a connected, holistic process that builds value of an organization's customers. It's really one of the few processes out there that can affect top-line revenue, the customer lifetime value, while decreasing operational cost. And that's really critical. Many companies have adopted a reoccurring revenue model in the last few years. And when you look at the revenue lifecycle management, it connects processes like quoting, legal ops, billing, and order services through the multiple sales channels that is needed in this day and age. The best companies know that this is a constantly evolving model because of the ability to cross-sell, upsell, have transition offerings, and importantly, have a renewal tied to the end of that process.
So the ultimate measure, obviously, of any project that you're doing, digital transformation project, especially around revenue management, is ultimately the value that you can deliver to the organization. How do you think about value in such a project?
Sure. So as part of my role, I do a lot of business cases for customers out there. And I like to think about value into two buckets. Quantified, where it's more math-based, where you look at total cost of ownership, payback period, all those fun math things. And then, really the intangible benefits of like collaboration or innovation, which is more of the qualitative type elements. In my opinion, really taking both of those and putting them together creates the best business case, but also makes the best sense because, again, people are really connected to those applications. So you need to consider not only the business benefits, but also the benefits related to the individual using those apps. Recently I was working with a customer who originally thought that they had a problem with quoting where the quotes were incorrect. I think when we dove into it, we were able to find out, well, not only were the quotes incorrect, but as you looked at that life cycle, well, that affected other parts of their business, like the ability for RevRec and customer satisfaction. Nothing was worse than having to go back to a customer after you quote them and have to tell them, well, you have to re-quote them. And so really by taking a look at this piece, they were able to not only fix the issue with their quoting, but more importantly, affect their top line because now they weren't making the mistakes, increase customer sat, but then also close their books faster because now they had the intelligence behind of what was going on.
Marc, thank you for sharing your insights. Thank you for joining us. We invite you to learn more at conga.com.